Hi all my students, here I am your English facilitator for standard 9 and 10 of ICSE, back with you again to continue with Julius Caesar Act II Scene 1. So standard 9, are we ready? Let's continue from where we left off. I told you that we'll begin with Cassius's speech, so let's start with his speech. I hope you all remember that a monologue is something that a person speaks alone. A dialogue is when two people speak together. When two people are talking to each other, that's a dialogue. Then a conversation, of course, is when there is a talk between a group. So there is a conversation. Okay. Now what we need to remember is that a monologue, when spoken on stage, means when a person, an actor speaks a monologue on stage, it becomes a soliloquy, because a soliloquy is something that is a monologue but it is heard by the audience, and therefore we call it as a soliloquy. And then here, of course, we have Brutus's speech, where he is going to be speaking alone, but he is talking to a huge group of people. There are lots of people listening to him, and therefore it becomes a speech. So with that much of differentiation between the different types of talk, let's continue with Brutus's speech. We were discussing that Brutus has made a number of errors, and we are going to see all the three errors. He has made three errors, like we saw in the synopsis, and we are going to see all his three errors one by one. Okay, so now Cassius has said, let us swear to a resolution, and Brutus immediately says, no, not an oath. So Brutus is saying that I don't want you all to take an oath. Now why does he, now this is his first error, please mark, that's a first mistake that he makes. Now why is it a mistake? Because now what is the reason he is giving for not an oath? Okay, the reason he is giving is, if not the face of men, means if the face of men means the look on the face of people and their sufferance of their souls, means the fact that people are suffering in their souls, if this is not a reason sufficient, then we need to take an oath. But because this reason is sufficient for us, we don't need to take an oath. Okay, the times abuse means the corruption of these times. If these be motives weak, means if these are weak motives, then break off and everyone go back to your idle bed, means go and sleep. There is no need to take any conspire the assassination of Caesar. So and then what will happen? It will happen that, so let high-sighted tyranny range on. Range on means roam about, because Caesar is going to become tyrannical. So they are saying let him range. So let high-sighted tyranny range on till each man drop by lottery, means by chance. Everybody is going to die. So each man will drop by lottery. But if these, as I am sure, they do bear enough means they are spirited. See, the meaning is given to you. If these, that means if these reasons are spirited, as I am sure they do bear fire enough to kindle cowards and to steal with valor the melting spirits of women, then, countrymen, what need we spur but our own cause? Spur means excuse. What other excuse do we need? We are actually fighting for the people. So why should we take an oath? Because we are fighting for the people. So this itself is a sufficient cause. We don't need to take any extra oath. Okay. What need we any spur but our own cause? Than secret Romans that have spoken the word. Secret Romans that have spoken the word means, you remember, Brutus had got a lot of letters thrown and he read those letters, where those letters were telling him that you have to speak, you have to redress the wrong that is happening to Rome. So he's saying, then secret Romans have spoken the word. I will not palter. Palter means betray. And what are the oath? Then honesty to honesty engaged. So he's saying, what are the oath do you need? Then that we are working for the truth. So honesty to honesty engaged. Okay. That this shall be, or we will fall for it. Swear priests and cowards. So he's saying, who are the people who swear? According to Brutus, the people who swear are priests. Then there are cowards who swear. Then there are men Cautilious means deceiving. People who want to deceive somebody, they start swearing. Old feeble carrions is corpses. Okay, and such suffering souls that welcome wrongs unto bad causes swear. So these are the people who will swear. Who are the people who swear? Priests, cowards, deceiving men, and old feeble corpses and suffering souls that welcome wrongs. So they have to swear because they are going to do something wrong. So they need to swear. We don't need to swear. Such creatures as men doubt, but do not stain that even virtue of our enterprise. Stain over here means to spoil or to tarnish. Okay. Then the even virtue over here means the purity of our enterprise, that we are absolutely pure. Now see children, Brutus is noble and his intentions are absolutely noble because he thinks that Rome is going to be under a tyrannical rule, and therefore Caesar needs to be destroyed so that Rome continues to have its republic. So he thinks that everybody else thinks in the same manner, which is very ironical because actually Cassius doesn't believe in that, like I told you earlier. Okay, so the even virtue of our enterprise, nor the insuppressive metal of our spirit. Insuppressive metal means something that we cannot be suppressed. So we want to fight against tyranny. To think that or our cause or our performance did need an oath. So he's saying, why should you even think that our purpose for what we are aiming, why should we even need to take an oath? What is the need? When every drop of blood that every Roman bears and nobly bears, means when every drop of blood which is there in every single Roman is guilty of a several bastardity. Now here the meaning of bastardity, if you look down, it's given to you in your textbook. It's given, when each drop of noble blood that a Roman bears will be guilty of not being genuine Roman blood. So he's saying we are genuine Roman people. We don't need to take an oath because we are genuine. Okay. If he do break the smallest particle of any promise that hath passed from him. So he's saying these are reasons sufficient and we don't need to take any oath. Now see what Cassius says. But what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? Sound him means tell him of our plan. So now Cassius has changed the topic and he has said, what of Cicero? Shall we change our plan? I think he will stand very strong with us. Stand strong with us means he will agree to our plan. Casca, let us not leave him out. Cinna, no, by no means. Metellus, oh, let us have him for his silver hair. Silver hair means for his age. Because his age is more and because his age is more. Silver hair means because his age is more. So people, the Roman public, is more likely to be satisfied if they see that Cicero is a part of the conspiracy. So let us have him for his silver hair. Will purchase us a good opinion. So we'll get a good opinion. The Roman public will believe that what we have done is something right because we have an experienced person with us. And by men's voices to commend our deeds. It shall be said, his judgment means his wisdom ruled our hands. So it was his judgment. Whose judgment? Cicero's judgment that made us, ruled our hands means made our hands do those action. The action of stabbing Caesar, assassination of Caesar. Our youth and wildness shall no whit appear, but all be buried in his gravity. Gravity here means maturity. So he's saying all of us are young, and just because he is a little more mature, so if he is with us, then automatically the people will believe in what we have done. They will side with us. Brutus, oh, name him not. Let us not break with him. Now this is the second mistake that Brutus has made. Please mark, it's the second error. Oh, name him not. Name him not means don't talk about Cicero. Name him not. For he will never follow anything that other men begin. So Brutus is saying that Cicero is a kind of a person who will never follow what other men have begun. So he will not follow us. So let us not name him. Cassius, then leave him out. Casca, indeed, he is not fit. Decius, shall no man else be touched but only Caesar? So now here Decius has asked that shall we touch nobody else but Caesar? Means is Caesar going to be the only one whom we are going to kill? Cassius, Decius, well urged. I think it is not meet. Meet over here means correct. I think it is not correct that Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. So here now Cassius has for the first time put forth his view that Mark Antony, who is so well beloved of Caesar, who loves Caesar so much and whom Caesar also loves so much, he should not live. If we kill Caesar, we should kill Mark Antony also. Why? Because we shall find of him a shrewd contriver. Shrewd contriver means a person who is a shrewd schemer. So he can scheme anything and he'll be very dangerous for us. And you know his means, if he improve them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all. So he is very shrewd, he is a shrewd planner. And if he uses his means, you will remember that Antony is also one of the priests. Okay, so he can use all that and he will annoy all of us, means which will go against us. Which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together. So he's saying we should kill Caesar and Mark Antony together. Brutus, of course, our cause will seem too bloody. Too bloody means too brutal. Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs. So now Brutus is saying, this is his third error of letting Antony live and not agreeing with Cassius. He's saying that if we, our act of assassinating Caesar, that will seem too brutal. Brutal means bloody. If we first cut off the head and then we cut off the limbs, because once you cut the head, the person is already dead. So what is the sense of trying to cut his limbs or chopping his hands and feet and all, because the person has died. So he's saying if we do that, then our act will seem very brutal and it will not it will not look a good act as if the purpose for which we are doing. Because Brutus is seeing this entire assassination of Caesar as an act of sacrificing to the gods. Okay, so and then hack the limbs, like wrath in death. Wrath in death means, wrath over here means anger. So like anger in death and envy afterwards, means we are jealous also. So first we are angry and then in our jealousy we also kill Mark Antony. For Antony is but a limb of Caesar, means Antony is just a part of Caesar, and once Caesar has died, Antony will have no meaning. So let us be sacrificers but not butchers. So see, here he comes out with the true reason, where he says that I want that the conspirators should look as sacrificers, as if they are offering a sacrifice to the Roman gods, and we are not butchers, means we are not here just to kill people. We all stand up against the spirit of Caesar. So now what is the spirit of Caesar over here? It is Caesar's spirit of tyranny and ambition. He's saying we are all against this spirit of tyranny and the spirit of ambitiousness. We are all against that. And in the spirit of men, there is no blood. Oh, then that we could come by Caesar's spirit and not kill Caesar. Come by means take possession. So he's saying, I wish we could take possession of Caesar's spirit so that we would not have to kill Caesar. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And gentle friends, let us kill him boldly. So let us kill Caesar in a bold manner and not wrathfully, means not out of anger. Not that we are killing him because we are angry or envious of him. Okay, let us carve him as a dish fit for the gods. So see, here he is saying, let us slay him, and when we kill him, we should make him like a dish that we are offering to the gods, and not make him like a dead body which is to be offered to the hounds or to the dogs, wild dogs. So let us carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him. Not hew him means not mutilate him in such a way as a carcass fit for the hounds. Hounds meaning is given, wild dogs. And let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up their servants to an act of rage. So, like our heart should be our master. So, our heart is our master, and it is as if the master has stirred up the hands in such a way to perform a particular act, and after that seem to chide them. This shall make our purpose necessary and not envious. So we should not look envious in killing Caesar, which is very, very ironical, because Cassius is actually performing this entire conspiracy out of envy of Caesar. If you remember, in Act 1 we had discussed this, how he is envious of Caesar. If you don't remember, please go back to the entire thing and read it up again. This shall make our purpose necessary and not envious, which so appearing to the common eyes, we shall be called perjurers. Perjurers means reformers. We are people who are trying to reform. Reform what? The wrong that is being done to Rome. So we will look like perjurers, means reformers, and not murderers. I don't want our act to look like a murder, and we should not look like murderers. And for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is cut off. So he's saying Antony is just like a limb, he's just like a hand of Caesar. Once you cut off the hand is not going to be able to do anything. So think of Mark Antony as a hand of Caesar, as the limb of Caesar. Cassius, yet I fear him, for in the engrafted love he bears to Caesar. Engrafted love means deeply rooted. So Cassius is saying, I am very scared of Mark Antony. Why is he scared of Mark Antony? Because Mark Antony is in great love with Caesar, and he will go to any length to take revenge. Cassius has this fear in his mind. Alas, good Cassius, do not think of him. If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself take thought and die for Caesar. So he's saying if he loves Caesar so much, the only thing that Mark Antony will be able to do is to think that, oh, what is the use of my life? Once Caesar is dead, I should not be living. And he will take revenge on himself, he will kill himself. And that were much he should, for he is given to sports, to wildness, and to much company. So he's saying, but knowing Mark Antony as he is, because he loves a lot of sports, and he loves a lot of company and all, so he will not commit suicide. So don't think of that. Trebonius, there is no fear in him, let him not die. Now see, immediately the conspirators, again they are agreeing to what Brutus is saying. So whatever, for the conspirators, it is very important to agree with Brutus, because Brutus is a noble person and he is held in high respect in Rome because of his ancestors, of course, who established the Roman Republic. So the conspirators don't want to go against Brutus's view about anything. So even though Brutus makes these 3 fatal errors that we have seen over here, they all agree with him and they agree to do whatever Brutus says. There is no fear of him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter. Live and laugh at what? Laugh at this act of ours. It is very ironical over here. Children, please write this down. This statement of Trebonius is highly ironical, because Antony lives to laugh not at Caesar's murder, but at the mistake, at the folly of the conspirators for sparing him. So he does live. He does not commit suicide. He lives and he laughs not at the act of the murder of Caesar, but he laughs at the mistake that the conspirators have made in allowing him to continue living after Caesar's death. Brutus, peace. Count the clock. Cassius, the clock had stricken 3. Underline this. I had told you this earlier when we were discussing the scene, that it is before 3 o'clock. So now the clock has stricken 3. Trebonius, it is time to part, but it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no, for he is superstitious, grown of late. So Cassius is saying that okay, we need to part, we need to go to our own areas wherever we are supposed to go. But I don't know if Caesar is going to come to the capital today, because Caesar has become a little superstitious of late and he may not come to the capital. Quite from the main opinion he held once of fantasy of dreams and ceremonies. It may be these apparent prodigies. Apparent prodigies, that means the wonders which have appeared. Now, what are the prodigies that have appeared? You remember it was a night of storm and all that was happening. It may be these apparent prodigies, the unaccustomed terror of this night, and the persuasion of his augurers. Now, who are the augurers? The augurers are, see, it's given to you, children, read. Augurers are soothsayers, priests who interpret the omens. Okay, now these augurers are like soothsayers. You remember there was one soothsayer earlier also? They are also called as the augurers. Children, please keep relating when you are answering your questions. The reason I keep telling you to remember what we have already seen is because I want you all to go back to your scenes, to your previous act, and to see where the soothsayer had come, where the augurers had come. Keep relating, then you'll be able to answer the questions properly. And your questions will have a certain high quality in them. Okay, so the persuasion of his augurers may hold him from the capital today. So he is saying it is the augurers. Caesar has grown superstitious, and these prodigies means the storm that is happening all around, and the augurers. So there are three reasons why Caesar may not come to the capital. And what are these three reasons? First, because he has grown superstitious. Second, these prodigies, that means these this storm, etc. Okay, so these prodigies and the persuasion of his augurers, these three things could hold him back and he may not turn up at the capital. Now, if he does not turn up at the capital, then what will happen is their entire plan, their entire conspiracy will fall. I want you all to write down something about the augurers. Please take a note, children. Ready? Got your pencils? Okay. Or pens. The augurers were priests who interpreted omens. The College of Augurs. Augurs is, spelling over here is capital AUGURS. The College of Augurs, who were 16 in number in Caesar's time. So in Caesar's time, this College of Augurs were 16 in number. Okay. And this was a priesthood with special skills. So they had a priesthood with special skills. They could interpret the language of the gods from the flight of the birds. They could interpret what God was trying to tell them from the way birds flew. So from the flight of the birds, they could interpret the language of the gods. Children, have you written? They could interpret the language of the gods from the flight of the birds, from inspection of sacrificed beasts. So when they used to sacrifice a beast, they would look at the beast which was sacrificed. Don't write this down, I'm explaining. I gave you the last line, from inspection of the sacrificed beast. So when they sacrifice something, they would just inspect the beast who had been sacrificed, and then what they would do is they did not inform men, write down, they did not inform men about the future. They did not inform men about the future or what was to happen. They simply taught men what to do or what not to do. They just taught them that you should do this, you should not do this. They would not tell them anything about the future. So have you got this note on the augurers? Let's read it together. The augurers were priests who interpreted omens. The College of Augurs, who were 16 in number in Caesar's time, was a priesthood with special skills. They could interpret the language of the gods from the flight of the birds, from inspection of the sacrificed beasts. So how did they read the language of the gods? From these two things, from the language of from the flight of the birds and from the inspection of the sacrificed beast. They did not inform men about the future or what was to happen. They simply taught men what to do or what not to do. Okay? So, like I've told you, these three things could, Cassius is saying, these three things could make Caesar stay away from the capital. Decius, never fear that. If he be so resolved, means don't get afraid, don't think that he will not come to the capital, because if he decides that I don't want to come to the capital, Decius is saying, I can oversway him. Why? How is he so confident that he is going to oversway, means turn the tables for Caesar? Because he's saying he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed by trees. Now you see, according to, look what is given to you. According to a legend, a man stood behind a tree when he was charged by a unicorn. The animal missed the man and drove its horn into the tree, and the unicorn was held captive. So a man cheated a unicorn. You understood? Okay. So he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, bears with glasses, elephants with holes. So bears could be betrayed how? With glasses. So you could capture them by putting a mirror in front of them. Okay, you blind them with the reflection from the mirror, and you could capture the bear. So you can capture a unicorn by using a tree. You can capture a bear by showing him a reflection. Because of that light, it was easy to capture him. Then elephants with holes. So if you want to capture an elephant, you dig up a big hole in the ground on the earth, and then you cover it up with leaves. So when the elephant is walking, he'll fall straight into the trap. So that is what he's explaining. So he's saying, I can oversway him, for he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, and bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with toils. Toils is a snare. And men with flatterers. But when I tell him, so men are betrayed how? Men are betrayed by their flatterers. But I will tell him that, but Caesar, you can never be betrayed by flatterers, because you don't get flattered. And that is a time when he is most flattered. Okay. But when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being then most flattered. So let me work. For I can give him humor, I can give his humor the true bent. True bent means humor here means mood. So I can correct his mood, I can give a proper direction to his mood, and I will bring him to the capital. So now Decius has taken it up on his head that under all circumstances he will ensure that Caesar comes to the capital. Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him. By the 8th hour, is that the uttermost? 8th hour means 8 o'clock. Is that the latest time? Sinna. Be that the uttermost, and fail not then. So at 8 o'clock, we will all go and get Caesar from there, and that is going to be the latest time that we are going to get him. Metellus. Caius Ligarius doth bear Caesar hard, who rated him for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder, none of you have thought of him. Now Metellus is putting one more name as a conspirator. He's saying there is a person called Caius Ligarius who hates Caesar, who doth bear Caesar hard means who hates Caesar, because Caesar had once scolded him because he had spoken well of Pompey. So Caius Ligarius had praised Pompey, and Caesar had got angry with him, as a result of which Caius Ligarius hates Caesar. So why haven't you thought of making him join the conspirators, join our group? Brutus. Now good Metellus, go along by him. He loves me well, and I have given him reasons. Send him hither, and I'll fashion him. So Brutus is saying, okay Metellus, go and call Caius Ligarius. He loves me a lot, and I will ensure that he also joins us. Cassius. The morning comes upon. We leave you, Brutus, and friends, disperse yourselves. But all remember what you have said, and show yourselves as true Romans. So Cassius is still scared that somebody might back out. Brutus. Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Fresh means bright and cheerful. Let not our looks, means our expressions, put on our purposes, intentions. Purposes is intentions. So our looks, our expressions on the face should not give away the actual intention that we have. And what is our actual intention? The assassination of Caesar. So let not our look put on our purposes, but bear it as Roman actors do, with unstirred spirits and formal constancy. Now, untired spirits over here means unflagging, means a spirit which does not come down, which continues to remain high. So, let us be high spirited. Let not your spirit come down. Okay. And formal constancy means your usual dignified behavior. And so, good morrow to you, everyone. Exeunt all except Brutus. Now, why Brutus is not exeunt? Because it is his house. So, the rest have gone, and Brutus is there. Boy, Lucius, fast asleep. You remember Lucius was his boy who had lit a candle in his study and come back, and then the conspirators had entered. So he is waking up Lucius again. Fast asleep. It is no matter. Enjoy the honey heavy dew of slumber. Thou hast no figures, nor no fantasies, which busy care draws in the brains of men. Therefore, thou sleepest so sound. He's saying you don't have to worry about anything which we all are worried about. So, you are able to sleep at such a depth. So, you continue to sleep, and therefore, you sleep so sound. So, we shall leave over here with Brutus asking Lucius to continue his sleep, because now the person who enters is Portia. Portia is Brutus's wife. So we will continue with Portia's entry in the next lecture. So see you all then, till the next module, and do keep revising and studying everything. Bye everyone. See you next time.